Hi everyone, my name's Caitlyn and I'm currently in the middle of my honours year with the School of Physics and Astronomy. So I'm going to give you an overview of my experience so far doing honours in astrophysics, which will hopefully help you decide if you would like to do honours next year too. So I did my undergrad here at Monash, just the standard 3-year Bachelor of Science. I really love space, so I was determined to get my money's worth of space content out of my degree, so I decided to do an extended major in astrophysics. And because of this, I was able to get minors in both physics and maths, and I also chose to minor in computational science, which was really handy for the coding that I had to do in the physics and astro units after second year. So in my third year, we were all locked down, and I was trying to decide what I wanted to do in 2021. I was a bit scared of any effects the pandemic would have on the job market, but also I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I didn't really feel ready to go out into the workforce yet. So I decided that I would be staying at uni for longer, but I wasn't sure if I should stay exclusively in science or branch out into another area such as education. I had been curious about research. In my undergrad, unfortunately, I didn't have any spare units to be able to do a research project unit. But I was hearing more about honours in third year, and it sounded like the best way for me to explore whether or not research would be for me. But the ultimate decider for me for doing honours was the chance to learn more cool things about space. Even after doing all my undergrad units, I still really wanted to learn more, and all the coursework topics for honours sounded super duper interesting, so I was super keen to come back and learn more. So honours in the School of Physics and Astronomy is structured by semester. In semester 1 you do coursework, so you have to choose 6 subunits of coursework to do based on what will be most beneficial for your research project. And these take half a semester each, and we do them in 2 groups of 3. And in case you're wondering, the ones that I chose and have already completed now this year are up on the slide. So I really enjoyed all of these. They were very interesting and I learned a lot from all of them, which was exactly what I wanted. During semester 1, you also have to write up a literature review about all the research that's already been done in the area of your intended project. And then in semester 2, which is where I am now, you get to work on your research project. So what that looks like depends on what type of project you're doing. My project is theoretical, so I'm going to be doing a lot of computer work and running simulations. By the end of this semester, I'll have to write up a thesis explaining my findings, and I'll also have to give a final seminar talk explaining the project. So right now I'm working on my research project with my supervisor, Amanda Karakis, and we're looking at brown dwarfs around solar-type stars in the galaxy. In case you don't know what a brown dwarf is, it's a celestial object with a mass that falls in between planets and stars. And so we're going to be looking at how often these binaries occur containing brown dwarfs and solar-type stars. And we're also going to be investigating if the systems that we see today actually contain true brown dwarfs, or if they're actually stars that have lost mass due to binary interactions and have fallen down into the brown dwarf mass range. And so to do this, we'll be using a technique called binary population synthesis. So basically, I'm using a code called BSE, which can simulate binary evolution. And you can change the initial parameters of the binary, such as the component masses and the separation between them. And so using this code, we can run a grid of millions of these binaries where the parameters are chosen from like a predetermined range. And so we want to find the distribution of the masses and separations and stuff that give the current observations that we see today. This is going to be important because it will help us constrain some uncertain binary physics, and also it may teach us a little bit more about brown dwarfs, which are actually quite mysterious objects, and so we wanted to learn more about them. So as for how I'm finding honours so far this year, I'm really enjoying it. As I mentioned earlier, I learned a lot from the coursework, and I found that it really reinforced and deepened my undergrad experience. I found it also quite easy to get further explanation or help if required from the lecturers. They were all really nice. I also found that doing the 6 units in one semester was pretty full on and quite challenging, so I'm proud of myself for getting through that, and my confidence in my scientific abilities and knowledge has definitely also increased. I anticipate that networking will be more prevalent this semester when I actually have some free time, but I've already started making more connections with people in my field. So for example, there's the Monash Stellar group, which meets fortnightly, where I get to hear about what other people who are doing similar work to me are researching and how that's going with them. And I've also recently become a member of Astro 3D, which is a group which has members all over Australia and some even internationally. And finally, there's also the friends you make at honours. It's a really great group of people that I get to work with this year, and they've been a great support system so far this year, both inside and outside of uni, and I'm really looking forward to finishing up the year with them all. So as for what I'm planning on doing next, aside from finishing my honours, is going to depend on how I find research in semester 2. If I find out that research isn't for me, I'd like to do a Masters of Teaching to become a secondary school teacher for physics and maths. However, based on how much I'm enjoying honours so far, I think that I would like to stay in science, and if the semester goes well, I would apply to do a PhD next year. So I guess we're going to have to see after semester 2 what I actually end up doing, but I think for either of those two careers, honours will definitely set me in good stead, and I definitely do not regret doing honours at all. It's really helped me. So if you're considering doing honours, I would definitely recommend it. I do think it's important though to have a lot of passion for your chosen field and your project area, because it's definitely a challenging year but a very rewarding one. I hope that hearing about my experience doing honours will help you decide if honours could be for you. So thanks for listening to my talk, and best of luck with the rest of your studies.